That's ready.
Hello, welcome to Book Club. Today, boys and I are once again, after ages, it
I'm
feels
so
like,
ready.
um,
Oh,
starting part 3 of Thus Spoke Zarathustra. So we're halfway through. Big ups, boys. We're halfway through. We still have 4 more
Wait, we're
episodes to go.
only halfway through?
yeah, we're starting part 3
Starting part 3.
out of 4
There's
parts.
4 parts. We still have more Nietzsche, boys.
The world doesn't understand how difficult it was for all of us to get here today.
I mean,
How hard we worked.
we are pretty behind schedule, so I hope they know that it's been pretty difficult.
We didn't quit. The club isn't
True.
over.
That's true. We haven't given up, even though behind schedule we have a good opportunity.
We'll release an official YouTube video whenever we're done.
Yeah, I feel
Release
like we
the
got to at
apology
that
video
point, right?
first, and then this.
Yeah, we're sorry for doing so much Nietzsche. That's our apology video.
I thought we were going to apologize for taking so long of a break.
That too.
We've been
Well, no more breaks. Let's get into it. Seth, I know you had a lot of energy right there, so I'll let you go first.
I'm so full of energy. Here we are in my apartment in Nashville, since we didn't get to see it last time.
The address.
Yeah, so let me drop the address in the description. Yeah, pretty much most of what's been happening is just getting accustomed to the new job, getting accustomed to the new city. It's a lot of new, it's a lot of exciting. The cynical part of me is wondering how long the rose tinted shades will last, or if maybe I am truly finally in love with a place.
Oh.
It's
Dude,
okay. Anna doesn't watch the show anymore. I'm kidding. But yeah, so really amped up. Anna actually got to visit weekends ago, and she really enjoyed it. So that's really exciting. Been exploring all the local bars, the local restaurants, the parks. I've been running, starting to train for a half marathon. There's a lot going on. A lot going on. Yeah, I'm in the fun phase where like every time I run, I'm shaving 20 seconds off my like pace. You know, it's just crashing down. Like I'm getting so much faster every time, and I know that eventually it's gonna be a fight for every single second. But I'm enjoying the beginning. You know, it's like when you first start lifting and your bench goes up by like 100 pounds in like a couple months, and then it's like, why is putting these 5-pound weights on the side just the absolute worst thing?
Makes it impossible.
Yeah,
all of a sudden,
I'm in the fun phase right now. So that's what I've been up to.
nice. I like the apartment.
Thanks.
Yeah, it looks
It's
good.
nice.
I'll pass it back to you, Howie.
No, I wasn't ready.
Back.
You're never ready.
I wasn't ready. I'm ready sometimes. Like I usually expect it to get passed back from David, actually. So I'm usually ready whenever it's on David. But okay, so man, let me think. Okay,
What have I been doing?
I don't think that much has been going on. Yeah, I actually don't think. I think it's been pretty chill recently.
Got a new painting.
Oh my God. Yes, this paint. For some reason, I'm thinking about this one right here. Yes, we did get a new paint. Chewy, not sponsored, gave us a painting of our new cat. I think we also like joined Chewy at the same time, like around the same time we got our new cat. So he sent us a painting of her. This is
Wait.
Cleo. So that's pretty cool.
Hold up.
Yeah, she did really
I
good.
thought that when you told us this originally, I thought that you just had a friend
Named
named
Chewy. I thought
Chewy.
too.
Like that was their
Oh.
nickname. Yeah, you both got
So
it.
I wanna throw this out here, completely non-sponsored. Chewy is one of the only companies that I know, only dog food companies that sends a bouquet of flowers or some sort of thing after they realize the dog has passed, or the cat has
Oh,
Oh,
passed, or
really?
the animal has passed. Yeah,
dude, that's
That's sweet.
sad.
because they're
But also
they
sweet.
had they have some sort. I don't know how they do it or how they know. I think it's kind of like because it's a subscription service, right, Howie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, whenever they cancel the subscription or they have a bag that comes in and say, "Oh, we don't need this anymore," or whatever passed, and like they send flowers, something like that. But I've heard a couple of stories from Chewy, so pretty
Makes
cool
you feel
company.
cared
Not
for,
sponsored,
right?
by the way.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
not
not sponsored.
sponsored. You're just
Not
talking,
yet.
you know? Yeah, not yet. Hey, Chewy, I'm literally advertising right now.
I'd be a dog food sponsor. I'd be down. I'd be a pet food.
Mm-hmm.
I could
we
do
love
that one.
pets. Love
Love
pets.
pets.
But yeah, so we gotta do some painting. Pretty chill for the most part. Just working. We trying to think. My mom is coming down this weekend, so we're gonna get lunch with her on Sunday. So that'll be
Hmm.
nice. 4th of July is also coming up, so it's
Mhm.
Oh,
pretty
I forget
exciting.
about that.
We got some plans for that one. I have a friend is throwing like a 4th of July party, so we're gonna go to that, I think. Um, but yeah, I mean, really been pretty chill. So, sometimes you like take the chillness, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so with that, give it off to David.
Thanks, man. Let's see what have I been doing. Working.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
Let's
Classic.
working.
go.
Classic. I took Alexa to her photo shoot she had in Austin. They had a high-rise apartment photo shoot showing off the apartment. It was for the actual apartment. That was kind of cool. Work is work. Just completed another mini electrical project. Nothing crazy. Actually have better lights in our garage now, so we can see. What else? Doing small improvements to the website, small performance improvements, which
Ooh,
I'm
the
not gonna lie,
performance.
it's really annoying. These have been annoying as fuck.
What kind of
Annoying.
performance?
Specifically, mobile performance, because my site on mobile is much slower than I'd like it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Something to do with the large content, the LCP, large contentful something.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of just learning it on the fly as I go through.
It's like the
But
asset, like an image or something. Yeah.
yeah, specifically for how our stuff works, I gotta make sure the images are great, but at the same time, I gotta make it optimized so that it doesn't hinder performance on mobile because it's too slow for me on mobile. And I feel as though if I'm a buyer or user, I want to check out experience that is so fast I don't even notice I bought something already.
Of course. That's what it's all about, man. Every freaking like 10 milliseconds, 100 milliseconds. That stuff
Yeah, dude.
counts.
Yeah, it really does. So that's been a big thing that I've been working on. Other small performance things, just little bugs that I had to take care of, swat away.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but aside from that, everything's been going kind of steady. It's been a really slow month, um, in
It's all right.
regards to business. But yeah, that's how it is. That's pretty much been it for me. Girlfriend is in Europe now for the next 2 weeks, so I will be focusing on my own hobbies and my own interests for a while. Yeah, to
Cool.
Connor.
To me, little old me, shit.
Yeah, little old you.
You do
I've
charm.
been I've been working as usual.
This sounds like a man who's just
He's been
been
working since
dragged.
June.
Yeah.
And my IC already broke twice.
Dude, I know. I know. You've been going through the ringer, Howie. No,
I
but
can only imagine.
dude, it's been getting hot. It's only the start of summer. Like I used to be able to like take 6 water bottles in my lunch every day, gallon and a half, be fine, you know. I'm taking like 10 water bottles
I
a
didn't
day
even
now.
think about that. I didn't even think about the copious amounts of fluid you.
Yeah, constantly, dude. It's like I'm drinking a water bottle like every fucking 15 minutes.
How drenched are you coming home, man?
Dude, the ass sweat is back. I'll be so honest. It's so back. It's here to stay for the next few months. Like I
Uh,
I go from 115-degree roof, right? Just baking. Like I'm on like my knees, like I'm sitting on top of a unit that's like another fucking 30 degrees hotter. Hot as hell. And then going down into my van that's hot as hell because I have to cool my whole fucking van if I want it to get cold.
Van
My van.
problems.
Van problems, man. I kind of hate the van. I'm not gonna lie. I want a
You
truck.
need to get that
But,
truck.
I need to get that truck. But then I'm just like sitting in my little chair. I'm doing my paperwork, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to grab a signature. Get out. My ass is drenched in sweat. God damn it.
Oh no!
I'm gonna look like an idiot walking in there.
It's
So
Going in for
pollution.
a signature, ass sweating, just
just start
absolutely
getting some paper towels
stinking
and
it up in
just
there.
stuffing it into your pants.
Or
Yeah,
go the
Your
other way
underwear.
and get fully wet so that it doesn't even matter anymore.
that's such a funny solution to the problem.
so true. So
So
true.
good.
Or
Just
just
produce
buy
more
Yeah,
ass
blankets.
actually
sweat.
true. Just like douse yourself entirely in water.
Oh no, he can't waste the water, Howie. He's got to keep it for the
Yeah, he
job.
needs to
I'm saying
sweat
just get
everywhere.
more. Yeah, get more sweat.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
More
you
ass
know,
just
sweat.
all
Before I get off
sweat.
the roof, just start doing
yeah,
jumping jacks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like go until
There
you're
you go.
profuse. You know.
It's,
That way your base condition is just really
Yeah.
sweaty all the time.
And they just know when you walk in that there's gonna be a puddle.
Yeah.
Like
dude.
But
No,
then you
but
won't
like,
look so silly just having it on your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
so right,
Because your
dude.
base
Like,
self is just wet.
you guys, I know this is a joke, but you don't understand. Like, I'll literally like get on the roof. I'll walk like 500 feet to a unit, something like that. I'll
it's
set down
there.
my tools. I'll be carrying like a 50-pound blower motor or something. I'll set it down. I'm like, "Fuck, I need to get off this roof, dude. I'm about to pass out."
So
Is there
that's
like
why
a
you've been
certain
staying
temperature
late.
though? But is there like a certain temperature where like you literally just can't do the workout? Is there like a certain temperature where it's like actually unsafe for you to be up there?
I'm sure there is, supposedly.
Oh,
But Connor doesn't know what it
I
is.
forgot you were on
Um,
about the OSHA guidelines. My bad. Forgot
No,
about
no, listen, I got my OSHA 10. I'm golden.
that.
I wore a hard hat last week.
Dude, Connor
one
just
time.
sends in the group chats like videos of him like watching 10 other people doing stuff. Like that's all the content
Literally
I'm
said
getting
having
right
No,
such a hard
actually,
time supervising.
Hey, listen, I was that day.
Connor's like, man,
he's
dude,
got his glasses on,
I'm
he's looking
so
good,
sweaty. I'm so sweaty just watching people
I'm
work.
working so hard.
As he's recording, guys, I'm working too hard.
No,
Oh,
that
man.
was a job we had like subcontractors doing for us. Like I wasn't supposed to do anything. Like that's part of the contract is they do the work.
Supervising.
Yeah, so you supervise them.
You're already there.
Yeah,
But I
honestly,
only had to
dude.
stay for like 2 hours. I was chilling.
So when is like when are you gonna get to the point where all you have to do is supervise all the time?
Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Let's see how
EMS head
this
tech right
whole
there.
yeah, let's see how this whole EMS thing goes. Be real quick.
I'd be so hyped. Be so
Yeah.
happy
No,
for you,
that's
Connor.
basically it.
Getting
Just
Connor.
I'm locked in, man. I'm so locked.
Oh,
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into part 3.
walk in on this book. I know you guys remember
I know you guys
anything
remember.
about it.
I know you guys remember. And that's how I start
All
off with the
right.
Wanderer.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
of
gonna be
course, the
Because we
wandering through this
wandering
whole
through these
chapter.
pages.
Yeah, always the same joke.
Well, David, do you got anything for this one? Well, okay. I forgot we actually like post this. Let me become professional again.
Okay, I got something.
Okay.
The only thing that I chose to highlight slash underline, I don't even remember exactly why. I feel as though it was a a means of past me telling my future me, hey, this was kind of the synopsis for the whole summary or for the whole chapter. And it was, whence come the highest mountains? So did I once ask. Then did I learn that they come out of the sea.
Oh, I remember this. It's coming back to
Yeah.
me. It's like you
And
have to
as
go
I
through the
read that,
lows,
hmm
the bottom of the sea to
yeah,
reach the mountains.
that was kind of a big, that's how I just summarized the entire chapter for myself. Exactly what you said. True mountains don't rise unless they have foundations in the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah, all the hard work. Well, another thing that this okay, I'm starting to come back to it too now. This chapter kind of like I was getting a lot of things of like uh ascending, mountains, for example, ascending and becoming quote unquote great. Um,
Super, the Ubermen.
yeah. And I think that was what tied into the end of the last chapter where he realized he had to go away from his disciples, his
Oh, he
friends,
did. He decided to leave again.
so that way he could wander again and ascend. But like he knows that this ascension means that you have to say and do strong, hard things. And that because of that, it can be kind of depressing. Because, and that's the thing, right? With like becoming quote unquote great, is you're gonna have like people despise you, hate you. It's like that's just kind of how life goes. Especially as you become more popular, more celebrity, more money. People just naturally, whether it's jealousy, envy, whatever, tend to just start hating you or the things you stand for because you're more of a public eye now, right? So like I think he's also kind of realizing that, and that's why he had to leave his friends. Because for him to make this ascension, he almost had to go into this lonely state, um, be truthful, I guess, with himself, and like learn more about the truths of life. And so, I think part of this is him going on this journey now, wandering, realizing he has to go through all this, and also kind of accepting that it's like depressing and lonely, right? Um,
He didn't want to leave this time, but he had to
yeah,
make the hard choice for himself.
he sure did. But like, I'm kind of curious though. Do you guys think that's always the case? Do you think you have to go down a lonely path to ascend? Or do you think that, like, I don't know, what do you guys think about the ascension process and how it comes with like loneliness, I guess you could say?
I don't think you'd have to go entirely through the lonely process. I think in Zarathustra's situation, I mean, it's his shtick. So he has to. It's how he got even to the point that he's at right now with the very first.
Lonely process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think in the more daily, more generic scenario, you don't really have to go through too much of a lonely process. But maybe you definitely do have to learn to let go of some people that you may have had in your life for a while. Maybe that's part of a hard process or other things. I don't know. But I guess I'm just pertaining this lesson more to people and people relationships than anything else.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm taking it too literally, but I think like if you're looking at something that you're trying to achieve, like the specific thing. Of course, you don't have to go through life completely alone to achieve this one thing. But I feel like you have to try to achieve the thing you're trying to achieve by yourself, or else you wouldn't have achieved it. Does that make sense?
Well, okay.
Yeah,
What
I
about
think
this
it's.
though? What are you gonna say, Seth?
I was gonna say I think it's not about that you haven't achieved it. I think it's about the feeling of achievement. You know, like I think sometimes I look at where I am and I realize that like there are definitely moments where I look at the position I'm in and I'm like, I didn't do anything to deserve getting here. I didn't work for this, and that doesn't feel good. I don't think, not to my soul, you know, versus the times where I know I put in the effort and got somewhere with it. Those moments feel incredible. And I think you can I think there are plenty of examples where you can see that somebody got to where they are without doing it by themselves at all. Like it was all just given to them, you know? So I don't think
Yeah.
you can say they didn't achieve something, right? But I think that part of achieving something is the feeling of achievement. And I think when you've done nothing to put yourself in a position to get yourself there, you don't get that feeling, you know?
Just speaks so much better than I do.
I
Speaks so
just,
eloquently.
You're doing great, Connor.
I wouldn't have
Um,
even had that thought if you wouldn't have said anything. So
Team
well,
effort.
There you go, man.
you're an
We achieved.
important part of the puzzle. Yeah.
We achieved it together.
Hell yeah. Yes, we
Just
did.
contradicted ourselves right there. We achieved
Connor
it.
got the thoughts that always just come
Yeah.
spread open light on something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
And then
Yeah.
you guys just
And
say it
then,
in a much better way, and I'm like, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
dude.
Maybe you're right.
That
Maybe you're onto something.
is what I meant to say.
but like at the same time too, though, it's like I feel like there is some circumstances where, like, taking into a business perspective, like having a co-founder, for example, right? Like it's like there's things you can't truly do by yourself too, right?
No.
So
Not at all.
It's I
Dude,
don't
I've
think yeah, it's less about like doing it completely on your own and more about putting in the effort to get to where you are, even if it's a
Yeah.
Mhm.
larger
yeah,
effort.
yeah, like how he had to leave behind his friends so he could
Mhm.
take the time and have the focus to do the thing.
I've experienced
Well,
not super recently, but in the course of me doing business, I've definitely had a semi shift in perspective of I could do that myself. Just give me a little bit of time, I can take care of it. And then at this point, I'm thinking I'm at a point where if I need to implement another sort of program or anything, I'm not looking to do it all myself anymore. I'm just gonna spend some money because I can do that now. A lot
Yeah.
easier.
yeah,
Mhm.
and like a programmer right here too, like in case you're ever interested.
I'll keep that in
Um,
mind.
I
I'm just
specialize
too
in
stubborn. I want to figure
performance.
it out myself.
Um, but yeah, I think that's the thing too, is like it does take a lot of time if you focus doing everything by yourself as well. Like it takes even more time, right? And so even like spending money on multiple people, that still takes a lot of time. And the thing is too, though, is like there is some people who actually do spend their entire life like almost like mostly like Elon Musk, right? Extreme example, like literally just the only work every second, right? And obviously, everyone has different perspectives on the idea because people do it differently. I'm curious what y'all's perspective on that kind of stuff is. Like, do you think you should be spending more time over more time on work than like relationships, or like vice versa, or like equally? Like, what do you guys think about that?
I want to say it
A good
depends on
question.
two big factors, in my opinion. And this is boiling it down to its simplest form. But I think the two big factors are one, where you are in your life, which is kind of a cheat saying it out loud because, obviously that's just another sitting on the fence type of
I like it
answer.
depends, yeah. But
Yeah.
no, keep on going. No, keep on going.
And I guess the second factor is the types of relationships you have in your life, right? Because I think most of us here, maybe not, maybe I could be wrong, but my assumption is that most of us wouldn't put work over a significant other, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I don't know. I don't think I would. But I guess it also depends on the scenario of how are you putting work over that significant other? Are you putting work over them for like a week? So that's it's whatever. Or are you doing it for a year, 2 years, 3 years? I don't know.
This would be a fun moment to revisit our little work,
Oh,
family,
yeah,
free time
the ranking.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I've always been of the impression like my thought process is my purpose is to work, you know? If I'm like in a relationship, like I've been working since I was 15. Like that's 9 years now, which isn't a long time, but it's a decent amount of time. It's almost half my life at this point. Um that I've worked a lot of different industries, a lot of different jobs. I've worked for a lot of different people, and there were times where I was like, I wish I could just fucking walk out of here right now. Like this sucks ass, you know? And I want to be able to provide that outlet to my significant other to the point where if they don't want to work, they don't have to, but also if they're working, they have the opportunity if they ever experience something like that to just walk away. Like it's not a requirement for them to live and to do this thing. So my my idea is if I can provide a steady source of income, a steady work ethic, like a steady foundation for the other people in my life to build their life on top of, I'm happy with that.
Would do that at the expense of not being able to spend as much time with the significant other?
Yeah, I would at that point. If it means that their life is better overall, just in comfort, then I think that's a worthy sacrifice to a degree. Like, of course, I'm not like gonna just work 90-hour weeks. I almost said 80-hour weeks. I've done that before. I'm not gonna work 90-hour weeks and like for a year straight and never see my significant other or my friends or my family or something like that. I will still always make time, and any free time that I have will be for them, you know? It's just I would rather sacrifice most of my life to provide that outlet for someone else.
I like that. It's about the purpose. It's about the meaning behind why you're working.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I can relate to that. I don't think that I think this is an interesting exercise in how I think that you can see this question in a lot of different ways, and none of them are really invalid ways to live. Because, like you said, David, it all depends. I think the biggest thing it depends on is your partner, right? Um, so like in my relationship, one of the like important foundational pieces for us is that we want to have time to spend with each other. So like for me, I think my value of that is flipped, where like I'd work at a coffee shop, where I'd work at a McDonald's. It meant like I had time to spend, you know, with her. And I don't think that's like a better way to look at it. And I think that there's going to be moments in my life where there is a potentially more comfortable future that I choose not to take because of that value, right? I think there's pros and cons to that view of the world. Um, and so I guess to answer your larger question, Howie, what matters more? I think it depends on what you're trying to accomplish and, like David said, the people around you, right? Because some goals are accomplished when you value your relationships, and some goals are accomplished when you put them to the side and work, you know. Um, and I think that I've had moments in my life where both of those things were not happening at the same time, but like I can give you eras of my life where I chose one or the other. Um, and I think recently I've been leaning more towards relationships, you know, but it's something that I think also changes.
It depends
Yeah,
on where you are in your life.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it does depend on where you are in your life. I think
Because for
especially as
me,
you
I
get older.
definitely. Hmm.
Yeah.
The older you get, I think the more time you're going to want to spend with your significant other in your relationships. I think
Yeah,
right now we're in the grind years. So right now
Yeah.
it's much more apparent that you're gonna more often than not choose work over significant others.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, because like the future benefit of like if you're like 60 how much is that extra 2 to 3 hours of effort in that week really going to affect like your
Your
long-term
future outcome, yeah.
prospects, right? Yeah. Versus like at this point in our lives, those small differences in investment can result in a much larger range of outcomes.
Yeah, it's like because you have time for it to compound, right?
Yeah.
So like what you do now can compound into something greater in the future, whereas because I can invest for like what 40, 50 years as opposed to when you're like 60 and it's like you're on a downhill. So there's not much
Yeah.
compounding left at that point, right?
True,
Yeah.
but it works on the inverse too. Like, let's say you focus all of your time on work. Yeah, you're compounding that interest in your bank account. Your retirement's going to look great. But if you're putting aside family and friends, you know, that doesn't compound either. So you're maybe if you have kids and stuff, you don't see them growing
Oh,
up. That
True,
Yeah.
compounds in the
I
future.
never
Your
thought
kids are more
about that.
true.
distant. Yeah,
that's so true. You can miss the early things you're
the,
never gonna get back.
yeah, the very
Oh,
important shit.
That's true. The stuff that like you never, literally never get back.
thanks for the new balancing act, Connor.
Yeah. Now I'm kind of worried. Maybe my work ethic is not a good thing.
I
Maybe
I
I
feel
gotta
like
change that.
I feel like I don't know. This is kind of personal, but I feel like uh where you're at a point in time where like I think that your work ethic is going to result in hopefully more free time. Like
That's
I think
exactly what I'm thinking, man.
That's
that
kind of
seems
what I'm
to be
hoping
the
for
end
too.
game of yeah, I guess in a way that's probably what we all hope, right? The like honestly, okay, this is crazy, right? If I had to choose between working, let's just say working more than I work right now, so more than like 50 hours a week, right? Every week, and my pay got like, you know, exponentially more, I would choose every year instead of a pay raise, I work an hour less a week, but I stayed the same pay the whole time. I would almost pick the, I know it's stupid because of like inflation, but let's just ignore inflation. Let's just say it like at my current level of like livelihood, like what I have going for me right now, I would almost rather my pay raise just be less work and I work less and less as I move up farther in my career. Like in my head, I would, that's what I would prefer. Maybe I'm dumb for that, but like
If
time is
inflation
always
It's
going to
didn't
point out
interesting.
exist,
to me.
it would definitely be the smarter way of going.
Like
Yeah.
let's just assume that instead of a pay raise, you get a like exactly enough of a raise to match inflation every year. That's all it is. You're never actually moving into a new bracket or anything.
I think I
But
would prefer
instead, it's
that.
like you only owe me 39 hours a week this year, and then by the time you're 60, you're working like 4 hours a week. You're still making the same amount of money. Now you have all this free time. Like I'd almost prefer that.
I personally, I would prefer that. Not even almost. I would full-fledged prefer that.
I think
Uh-oh.
time is the currency. Honestly,
The
it really
Seth
is the main
Keelan economic
currency.
policy has reached the masses. Well, this is something I had in my job where my last position, I was paid hourly, but it was still like I was still full time and I had to work 80 hours a pay period, right? But that allowed you to get kind of fancy with the time. You know, you could work 9 hours a day and then like, you know, just do less work on Friday, call out early. There'd be so many times where I would take a Friday off and I would spend no PTO or anything. So I'd like worked ahead to get my time. So like around the office, I started to be known as like infinite PTO guy because I was just always off. I was like had Fridays off all the time. And they were like, "Where do you get all this PTO? Like how are you taking so many days off?" And what really rocketed it was when my company moved to having comp time. So like if you worked extra, like more than 80 hours in a pay period, you just got paid that extra amount on top. So like at an hourly rate. They changed it to where you can actually opt to bank that time for later. So like if I worked like 8 hours over a week, I could just earn 8 hours of PTO and then spend it later.
I have 101
That
hours
sounds
banked right
fantastic.
now.
Yeah, right.
Connor, what are you
See,
doing,
well, the
bro? Connor, stop
problem is Connor
working
never
so
uses
much.
it.
Yeah, Connor, you're wasting
Never,
it.
never uses it.
I'm
So
thinking about just pulling it out whenever I buy a house, use it for furniture.
that's such a grind set. That's crazy. Just
Connor's,
get like
Connor's a
the
grinder,
quadruple
bro.
paycheck and invest. Wow.
It's all overtime
Um,
too.
oh, see, you
See,
couldn't
I wish I
bank
got
overtime
overtime,
hours,
bro.
unfortunately. I know, be nice. But like, what I was trying to say is like, at the end of the day, like everyone's like, why are you always off? Why are you always off all the time? Like you're never here. And I'm like, because when I have the choice between more money and time off, I pick time off every single time. Like the Friday off is so much more valuable to me than the 8 extra hours of money that I make for me personally. And there were people that were like, that's stupid. And maybe they're right. Like it's like I was also given the opportunity to like punch above my weight for what my salary was. Like I could give myself a raise by working longer, right? And I chose not to do that. So it's interesting.
Very important what you just said right there, though. This
Yeah.
is off topic, but give yourself a raise by working more.
Yeah.
That is such an American mindset.
That actually is such a capitalistic mindset.
The
Well,
whole
at
like
least,
no tax on overtime. It was just well,
yeah.
I'll just work more and then I'll make more money. It's
Oh, I
like,
didn't even think
no,
about that.
we need a more livable wage. That's why you're
Yeah,
having to work more, you know?
that's funny.
Let's go.
I'm red blooded, bro. Hey, we won
USA.
our group in the World Cup, baby. I've
USA.
never felt this
We
patriotic
did.
in years.
It's actually so cool.
I know.
Well, now we've got to finish with chapter 1 of this part.
Oh God.
Um,
Look
the
at the
vision and the
dash.
enigma.
Oh, I think
So,
personally, I just wrote down questions for this one.
yeah, for me, I got a lot of basically Zarathustra battling his negative thoughts. And he basically said he had to conquer them by taking the courage to like look at his depressing thoughts, his negative thoughts, and just face them head on. Kind of either accept them, move past them. Which, I think that's that's cool. I like that idea. Um, I
Well,
will say
stoicism.
there was there was this one part in the chapter which I don't even think has to do with philosophy really. But I remember reading this and be like, we have to talk about this. I'm gonna I'm gonna read this real quick. Ooh. So basically, he has what he calls his dwarf, and that's like the metaphor for his negative thoughts, basically. And he says, ooh. There was, however, a gateway just where we halted. Look at this gateway, dwarf, I continued. It hath two faces. Two roads come together here. These hath no one yet gone to the end of. This long lane backwards, it continueth for an eternity. And that long lane forward, that is another eternity. They are antithetical to one another, these roads. They directly abut on one another. And it is here, at this gateway, that they come together. The name of the gateway is described above. This moment. But should one follow them further and ever further and further on, thinkest thou, Jorth, as that these roads would be eternally antithetical? Everything straight lieth, murmured the dwarf, contemptuously. All truth is crooked, time itself is a circle. Thou spirit of gravity, said I wrathfully, not take it too lightly, or I shall let thee squat where thou squattest, halt foot, and I carried thee high. Observe, continued I, this moment, from the gateway, this moment. there runneth a long eternal lane backwards behind us, lieth in eternity. Must not whatever can run its course of all things have already run along that lane? Must not whatever can happen of all things have already happened, resulted, and gone by? And if everything have already existed, what thinkest thou, dwarf, of the moment? Must not this gateway also have already existed? Not all things closely bound together in such wise that this moment draweth all coming things after it, consequently itself also. For whatever can run its course of all things, also in the long running outward, must it once more run. And so, okay, actually, there's a little more. And the slow spider which creepeth in the moonlight itself, thou and I in this gateway whispering together, whispering of eternal things. Must we not all have already existed? And must we not return and run in that other lane out before us, that long, weird lane? Must we not eternally return? And so, like, I don't know. I read this, bro, and it's basically talking about future, past, both all eternity, and like especially in parts where it's like, and if everything have already existed, what thinkest thou of this moment? Must not this gateway also have already existed? And it's like the idea of time, you know, and just it was such an interesting thing to me as I read because it's just like if everything have already happened, everything that could possibly have happened, then wouldn't technically this moment have also happened? And if everything can possibly happen, won't this moment also have possibly happened? And I don't know, when I read that, I just like I think I like sat there for like 5 minutes, just like contemplating life. Um, which I don't even know what to discuss about this because it's just such a abstract concept, but I just thought it'd be
Existential
cool to
thoughts.
bring it up. I don't know if anyone
I
has
think
that. Yeah, go
I
please.
feel like this is I feel like that thought is something that makes people uncomfortable about certain conceptions of God, because it's like you ask yourself if a God is all knowing, right? How does that work with the future and the past? Like, how does knowledge of the future and the past function? Because, like you said, technically, couldn't anything happen? How can you possibly know of all those things? And if you do, and you know which path people are going to take, like, where does choice like fit into this? And I think that some people have even abstracted this beyond like a concept of God and thought about just their place in that idea. And it comes down to like whether you think, I think that I think it's telling that Nietzsche has chosen to use a metaphor where it's a path that one is walking on and not something like a river that someone is riding in, right? It's clear that he very much believes that you get to choose where you move along that path, you know, which I feel like checks out with what we know about him. Um,
Yeah,
I didn't catch that. That's actually such a good analysis, and I really
yeah.
like that, the whole aspect of it being a path that Zarathustra or yeah, Zarathustra is still walking, not a river that's carrying. So cool.
like the
I like that. I
wanderer,
like that a lot.
like
Yep.
he's
Like
wandering
the
along his path.
Wanderer.
Yeah. So much of like this whole book is like very much rooted in self-determination, right? It's all about you have the power to do what you need to do. You know, I feel like very rarely are we confronted with any ideas of like things happen because they happen, you know. In this
Yeah,
world, everyone is in control of their destiny.
I mean, even to the point where, like, in Voluntary Bliss, he starts talking about, like, how he wants misfortune to befall him so that way it
Mhm.
can improve. Like,
Yeah.
it's this constant state of, like, uh, quote unquote, evolving, you know,
Mhm.
and just going down this path, whatever it may be. wherever it takes him, leaving others behind, going through. For him, though, I think the interesting part is like he feels like he has to go through misery and pain to in order to improve, which I think like low key is kind of for the most part true, right? We don't just improve by not going through hardships, you know?
Mhm. Well, that makes me think of a question because I feel like that kind of strikes like I feel like the Zarathustra classic at this point is like I've realized that I must do this, and then he does it. Like there's never like a if there's a consternation, it doesn't last long, right?
Hmm.
So my question is, I think we all can think of moments where our suffering uh, was something that helped us grow and move forward and taught us something, right? Do you think you still learn the same lessons if the suffering was self inflicted? I think there's two sides of this. There is coming out the other side of the suffering and going, all of that was my fault and I could have avoided it if I did something else. And then there's the side of what Zarathustra is doing here and going, I need to suffer, and then going and finding that suffering. Do you think there's still value in it, or does it lose that learning edge because you're inviting it?
I think you still gain value from it because the thing is, like, when you invite the suffering in, I don't think he necessarily knows how exactly that suffering is going to come about. I mean, obviously, he knows he's going to suffer from leaving his friends and stuff, but it's to go along this other path, which he has yet to trot, which will have him suffer. But he doesn't know how he's going to suffer. He doesn't know what he's going to go through. And I think by going through it regardless of like trying to suffer, you still learn along the way, right? I mean, it's like this, right? It's like you go on an adventure trying to find gold, something like that. Like a movie or whatever. You know, you try to find gold, you go on an adventure to find whatever, and you know that's inviting suffering in, but you don't know what the journey will be and how the journey will change you and everything along the way. So just by going on the journey, I think you still learn, gain knowledge, grow as a person, regardless of if you're asking for it or not.
Okay,
That's I was let me answer because I was gonna say that yeah, it does lose its edge, but I
okay.
guess that does depend exactly on what Howie just said, and that gave me a little bit more clarity to my own thought
Mhm.
process. That it does depend on how you decide to take in that suffering. Because if you're gonna say, you know what, let me experience bankruptcy, so let me go gamble all of my money away.
Yeah,
Like, okay, no,
right.
Jerry, obviously,
Yeah.
right? You lose what learning edge are you getting there? But in another case, it's like you said, right? Let me go gamble by looking for gold, which maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. Um, but the journey will be very. You don't know if you'll suffer a hell of it during the journey, a little bit, but I guess it's you could learn different lessons from him.
I like your example about bankruptcy. My
Yeah, I
example
didn't even
was
think
way
about that.
sillier. It was like I was imagining like a rich person like paying to be a prisoner of war or something, and it's like what I learned in this internment camp. But
See,
yours
that's
is
a lot more
way more
creative.
realistic.
Mine was just straightforward.
I like yours got
Yeah.
the point across though. I think mine there's a lot of extra steps involved that muddied the point of it. Oh, man.
Yeah, I guess it is that difference between like how you suffer, right? Like, are you literally like just destroying yourself for the sake of destroying yourself, or are you like putting yourself across a journey which you know you'll suffer across, but there's a high chance like you'll be rewarded, whether like you actually get rewarded or you grow as an individual. You know,
Yeah, or like
And
the
you
really
meet people
basic.
along the way.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was a true
Or like
treasure all along.
or like the really basic example of this is like running. It's like it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
And you're doing it knowing it's gonna suck, but you still grow from it, right?
Yeah,
Being oh that this and unfortunately this is harped on a lot of the manosphere, the grind set mindset, or it's stated a lot, but the whole be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of the bigger. I think now you're kind of putting the words, kind of the bigger feeling I was trying to get at is like that manosphere vibe of like always put yourself in danger, like just be afraid, like,
Sit in the corner so you can see all of your observe
yeah,
everything in the
suffer at
scene.
all times, suffering at all times, never be comfortable, and like I
Comfortable
feel
is
like
weak.
that's yeah, is that productive? Are these people really growing by like doing this to themselves? And maybe in some ways, maybe don't knock it till you try it. I don't know.
I think it
I don't know.
depends
Just
on how you're making yourself uncomfortable,
yeah.
for sure. But next chapter, Before Sunrise. I don't know. This one, I don't think I really remember getting too much from. Uh, it was a lot of like he just hating on the usual stuff. I think he calls people passing clouds, which he detests, which is like people go with the flow for the sake of, or like follow for the sake of following because they don't have conviction. He doesn't like that. Um, he also thinks at the beginning here, it sounded to me like he kind of wanted to believe in a heaven. But to him, he's like, I can't because there's so many like mediocre, scared people painting this idea. So it's just not right for me. Uh, I didn't really have anything about Before Sunrise, unless someone else does. But if not, the Bedwarfing Virtue, I remember I had quite, I think I remember something really interesting
I mean, with a
about
name
this.
like that, I swear he made some of these up.
Seth, can you Google
I don't.
Bedwarfing for
Yeah,
me?
I'm on it.
All right,
I'm
I
on it.
appreciate it.
About
It's
the
an
set of
archaic
Zarathustra.
English word meaning to stunt, hinder the growth of, or make someone or something appear like a dwarf.
Okay.
Stunting
Oh,
virtue.
bedwarfing, not
Bedwarfing.
Oh,
not bedwarfing.
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 Oh,
Oh, that makes
oh
so
my
much
gosh.
more
I see it
sense.
now. I see it.
That
Here I am
all
imagining like a wharf for beds or something.
yes. Yes.
Okay. All right, so here we go.
Bedwarfing.
So the Bedwarfing virtue. He talks a lot here about it, especially in part two of this. Haste. And so he kind of talks about how these people are he's courteous to them, but everything he does is just taken as like a small annoyance. And when he speaks, no one like thinks about what he's speaking. They just kind of like bark at him. And he tries to like be himself, and try to help these people. But in return, all he gets is just people kind of being envious of his happiness in a sense, and being envious of him in general, and hating the words he's saying because he thinks of them as here we go. He thinks of them as cowardice, so it would be called virtue. In their hearts, they want simply one thing most of all, that no one hurt them. Thus do they anticipate everyone's wishes and do well unto everyone. And when they chance to speak harshly, those small people, do I hear then therein only their hoarseness? Every draught of air maketh them hoarse. Shrewd indeed are they, their virtues have shrewd fingers, but they lack fists. Their fingers do not know how to creep behind fists. Virtue for them is what maketh modest and tame. Therewith have they made the wolf a dog, a man himself man's best domestic animal. That, however, is mediocrity, though it be called moderation. So he sees it as two things. He sees it as these people having a kind of virtue, which in a sense brings them down because they're afraid of like someone attacking them or being mean to them or hurting them. And so they act modestly. They don't take any risks. They're cowardly. And so when you see someone like Zarathustra coming through, who is speaking his mind, saying what he thinks, and acting like himself with this other virtue, they get envious of him and they start to despise him. And I think that's what he gets from here. He gets that these people are like so comfortable with themselves They don't have the ability to do things that they want because they're just living in mediocrity, living in whatever comfort. And as a result, he sees this envy from them, which kind of goes along with what we've been talking about, right? With like comfort and stuff like that. But this time we're seeing Zarathustra hate on it, hate on this comfort. The other interesting part is that people who are like this, he sees them be envious.
He hates dogs too,
Clearly.
And women.
and women.
And Christians.
And
Same
Christians.
thing.
Crazy.
Just making this audience smaller and smaller.
No,
I
for
know.
real.
Yeah, now we've lost the dogs.
No, not the
Uh,
dog.
Crazy. Well, I guess
I
we
was
can
due
go.
for another one. It'd been a while.
I guess we can we can become a red pill channel.
No, we don't have to do that.
No, listen,
Yeah,
we'll make our
red pill.
comeback. We'll make our comeback with the ass festival. Okay, we just got to keep on going.
We just gotta get there. We just gotta get there.
Oh my gosh. But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think about it? I think it's a little generalization is the best word I can think of.
Yeah. I got a lot of different thoughts about this, but I think I'll focus on one where I feel like I feel like there's two big ideas that I feel like have been kind of at war over all the books we've read. It's kind of the idea of always strive for greatness versus learn to be content in your station. And that sometimes these two ideas can be present in the same book. Like I think of like Myth of Sisyphus, right? Is about learning to love the struggle and learning to love who you are, right? And like the world you've inhabited and created for yourself, and not grabbing things from external views. And then you have like meditations, which a big part of meditations is like being a part of society and like contributing and like doing what you're due without complaining. But also I feel like part of meditations is like, maybe I forgot, but is like always moving for something greater, like up higher, you know? And it's like,
At the same time, in meditations, there was also the idea of being content with what you have and not yearning.
yeah, right. But then,
for
but
more.
then it's like, I think of the corn stalks, like this toast at the end of the screw tape letters, you know, like I don't know, I don't know if these ideas are compatible, and I feel like here is a great example of someone, in this case Zarathustra, advocating very hard for, you know, getting out of comfort, becoming unbalanced, you know. Um, but at the same time, he has a problem uh with like morality, and like following anything but your instincts. And I think that's been kind of the hardest through line for me to draw, is like the idea of following my instincts feels very comfort driven. But I also feel like he's very anti like mediocrity, very anti, you know, sitting where you're at. Maybe I'm misinterpreting or misunderstanding what he's saying in this chapter.
I
I don't know
think
if you guys
the
have any thoughts.
I think the instincts thing is kind of like, for him, it's like the perception of instincts for him is you have to hone them and make your instincts such a way where, like you mentioned, the innocence thing, but also have your instincts be something where you instinctually try to reach towards a goal or greater heights. Um, I think for him, it's like a total different perspective on what instincts are. And I think that kind of is a difference between the comfort. We're like, for instincts, like comfort instincts, you just do whatever you want, just like, my instinct is just lay here, do nothing. But like for him, it's like, no, you should hone your instinct to be active, I guess, you know? Um, but I do kind of want to talk, I think the point you brought up before about the two separate ideas of being content with your station and also trying to try to get out of your comfort zone and be active. Um, is a kind of a really important talking point because I think it's something that is true that like you kind of reach into both, and it does kind of feel like they don't really coincide with one another. So I kind of want to like low-key sit on that a little bit because I've never really thought about that too much. Like, is it because like when I think of it like them coinciding together, for me I think of, you're actively trying to achieve greater things or do something to improve life, the environment, the community, what have you. But just being at also like a state of calmness. That's when I think of like being comfortable, I guess. Content with your station, like a state of just like calmness and tranquility, but also trying to achieve a goal at the same time. But maybe I'm trying to just use human logic to rationalize my idea, Maybe that's not actually what that is.
Yeah.
But I
They're
can't
not
think of
supposed to.
any other way.
Maybe they're not supposed to coexist in tandem. I mean, I don't know how I want to. I don't know how I want to put this, but my first thought was you're not the same person all the time, and that's okay. That's a really. I don't like the way that I worded that at all, but
I get where you're
follow.
going.
Yeah, follow. Yeah. Y'all, I know y'all can see the end to my point,
Mhm.
and that essentially being different phases of you throughout the day or throughout the weeks or throughout the years are going to do different things, and you're always going to be growing, or hopefully not, but evolving as a person. And maybe I don't know, it's a sense of certain moments in that day, in that frame, that you feel one type of way over the other, and that's just kind of that's how you're supposed to roll. Not harp on having one general idea for the rest of your life. I don't know if I'm putting this very well. I don't know if I'm getting my point across.
What do you mean,
It-
like one general idea for us of your life?
As in forever, ever, ever going to strive for more, or forever, ever, ever going to be content with my station. You're not always just going to have one. You're going to freaking we're people. We're so complex. We're fucking meat computer, right? So we're gonna have different processes, different RAM is gonna be devoted to different things, right? At it could be not at the same time, but you know,
It
kind of
fluctuates.
yeah, it's gonna be fluctuating throughout all of time, and maybe that's just how it's gonna supposed. Maybe that's just how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Sometimes your CPU usage is for Spotify, sometimes it's for Google Chrome. I get you.
I was
Whoa, do
literally
you say
in
Google
my
Chrome?
Connor, I was
Never
literally
be using Google
thinking
Chrome.
I was thinking like coming home from work and right clicking the work task in the task, just like free up those resources. I think something you just said, David, that kind of stuck with me some kind of way is like I think we talk a lot about how you have different phases in your life. But you said like you might be like a different person at different points in the day, you know? And I feel like I don't give myself that room sometimes. Like I feel like I've had it feels like the way that I kind of operate myself is like we're in a grind season and I'm grinding and I'm coming home and I'm working till I pass out. Oh, I've achieved my thing. It's time to do nothing now. I'm gonna eat trail mix all night and watch YouTube for 5 hours.
That's
Cause
amazing.
I'm in a it does sound amazing. Cause I'm in a chill era. And nobody could make me do any work right now because I'm chilling. Like I don't think I give myself the room to go, all right, dude, an hour a day. You worked really hard. Do nothing now. It's time to relax. Like it's these very intense like swings, and I still think that there's a time and place for that, but I think that sometimes I feel guilt because I'm not working hard enough in a hard working era, or I feel stressed because I'm working too hard in a chill era, when in reality I should be kind of taking it more day to day and being comfortable with like the ways that can change, you know. That's been my number one struggle since I got here, is like, I mean, guys, I've been go 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 for the last like 3 4 months of my life, nonstop. And now I won't say I made it, but I made it. I got here. I got the apartment, I got the job, like, and it's hard for me to enjoy it because my brain is like, where's the next thing?
Seth, you
You
know what you
know?
gotta
It's
do? You gotta go
yeah.
outside, just do nothing. Just stand there.
You're you're right.
No, it's such a hard thing to learn. Like I'm not even gonna pretend like I've learned it. 'Cause I definitely have not. But fucking work-life balance, dude, it's such a hard thing to learn.
Yeah.
It's like same thing, dude. Like I come home even if I have my 2-day weekend, you know? Like I come home that entire time I'm just thinking about like the next week.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, okay, well I have this job in Beaumont, so that's where I'm gonna be for the next week. I need to have all my shit packed, all my laundry made, and what am I gonna do right when I
Mhm.
get there? I'm gonna retrofit and I'm gonna make sure all these are in communication and so on and so forth. It's like, dude, just take a second to just chill the fuck out. Like,
Sometimes
man,
I feel like you just gotta catch yourself. It's hard because you have to like catch yourself, you know? You have to
Mhm.
like catch yourself and consciously think about, I gotta stop like thinking. I just gotta
Mhm.
sit here and just do nothing, you
just
know?
focus on making your copper pickaxe. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Chill
On
out.
napping that knife. I wanted to say that the reason that thought even came upon my mind is primarily because of the thought of you being a different person for different people. But that's all
Mhm.
subconscious. It's not it's not honed in. I definitely don't consciously maybe ish, but I definitely don't consciously think, okay, I'm gonna be this certain type of person for this certain type for this person. I'm just me, but that me subconsciously will shift a little bit, ever so slightly, I don't know, actually maybe not super radically because there's never been a moment, but ever so slightly it'll shift. It'll be a different me, a little bit of a different font for a different person, because that's just you have different ways of talking to people in your life.
Well,
And
it's
that's
like,
kind of where that idea came from.
yeah, I mean, like, even the basic idea of like, um, being my father's son versus being my little brother's older brother, you know. Um, I'm going to I'm gonna be a little more. I'm gonna be a little more cognizant of how I'm acting and what I'm saying, but for two totally different reasons and in two totally different ways. I want to make them both proud, but what they need from me to feel proud is like a totally different role. You know. Um,
Yeah.
Dang, that's
And they
crazy.
both
yeah.
see you
Think
so
about it like that.
differently, man.
Really good analogy.
Well, that's also interesting though. Like your relationship with everyone is so different, and the way that like you what like I guess what says to like what they're looking for is different because the relationship with you is different, and the way you have to be aware of that and like I guess say and act differently. Such an interesting human concept. I feel like a social concept,
Yeah.
and
Dude, there's
just
a
like
multiverse of you in different people's minds.
Yeah.
it's just something I personally like never think about. And honestly, it's probably something I need to think more about because I kind of act a lot of the same most of the time with people I talk to. But like,
Or so you think.
yeah, or so I think. And so but like the thing is too is like the other part too is like, it's I'm at least at the very least not ever really super consciously aware of that relationship difference and like how I'd be acting or how I like what it's like on the other person's thought perspective. I feel that's something I need to do more because I think it
Well,
actually is pretty important.
Dude, I ain't gonna
it
lie.
is.
This is. We'll go for it, Seth.
Well, I will say, as someone who's been on the other side of that realm, where I'm intensely aware of the different ways that people see me, and I fight very hard to fulfill exactly what I think my role is in this group or person that I'm with. Just, you know, don't go too far off the other end because it's pretty miserable on that side. I'm not gonna lie. There like I think there is still like an essence of you that should
Yeah,
remain
yeah,
at
true.
the core that everyone should be able to see, even if it shows through in different ways. You
No,
know?
that's a good point. Like you still have your individuality.
It's
Yeah.
you with a different outfit.
Yeah.
I
I just
like
think
that.
it I just when you said that it made me realize that I've been fighting with the same thing but from the opposite direction. Is like learning to be more consistent in who I am, not for everybody else, but for me, so that I can have some like
Seth in there.
semblance of, yeah, like, yeah, exactly. You can understand who I am.
So that way you can have
I was gonna
some
say,
Seth.
Yeah,
some of
yeah.
Seth. I was gonna say that recently I've noticed myself doing this more, and it's such a small thing. I don't really put too much thought into it, but I've noticed myself doing it. I think I wonder what this person sees me, or how they see me, but physically, actually physically, how they see me, and that leads me to put myself or imagine myself viewing myself through their eyes. And that's just something I've been doing a lot more recently. I've noticed I've been doing more recently, not in the means of feeling and this might sound bad, but it's definitely not in a means to be empathetic or anything like that. it's just
God forbid.
look. I'm not saying I don't have empathy, but it's something that I've been doing just in an observant type of way.
Mhm.
I haven't been attaching any sort of, I guess, bigger meaning to it. It's kind of just been hmm, I wonder what this action looks like
Have
to
you
that
gained
person.
anything out of that? Have you like
Uh, Maybe I have been a little bit more conscious of all things that I do, but I haven't really. I can't say that I've changed much, if at all, from doing that. I mean, this is something that's been happening the past maybe 3-4 weeks.
mm. And you're not doing it
Just a
for
You've
main
empathy
unlocked
experiment
either.
that I'm. Yeah, it's purely just an observant standpoint.
No, dude, you've unlocked level 2 people watching. Instead of just watching other people, you're watching other people watch you.
Dude, you're
It's like
so
poker.
right.
It's like poker. Instead of just thinking about
Whoa.
your movements based off what they do, think about how they do things based off what you do.
Awesome.
Dude, level 2 of people watching. I like that.
Your skill unlocked. That's awesome.
um. Well, next chapter on the Olive Mount. This one was kind of okay. I just remember what I got mostly from this was like how he's like having to hide your good fortune or make excuses for it to avoid envy. That's an interesting thing because that's definitely something I've read about. That's the thing I've read about in like biographies and stuff. And just like in 48 Laws of Power, for example, like that kind of stuff. It's like the greatest example I know of is Sola and how he was like called Sola Felix. Felix meaning like lucky. And the reason for it was because he would always say that, like he was just lucky. Like his achievement and stuff, he was just lucky. And it's the idea of distracting, like making people think that you are just lucky. So that way it doesn't make them think that you're just better than them or you feel like you're better than them, you know? It makes people be like almost have an excuse for why they're not where you're at, you know? Like, oh well, he was lucky. And so I thought the idea is kind of interesting where, I just kind of like you don't want people being envious of you, right? You have to watch out for that. Um Another thing I got here was this one paragraph where he says, but the clear, the honest, the transparent, these are for me the wisest silent ones. In them, so profound is a depth that even the clearest water doth not betray it. And the interesting part I had here was that so profound is the depth that even the clearest water doth not betray it. And it's like for him, he loves these people who aren't hiding themselves, but because they're such like a deep person that like they're so profound they don't need high themselves because not everyone will get them. I thought that was another interesting like turning of that idea. Um, but like, is that a thing though? Is you kind of just making that up? Like, is that really a thing where like people are like someone could be so deep? It kind of well, it kind of reminds me of the conversation we had where like words can describe something, but like when you see someone and you know that they understand, like they also have the same thought. It's like you have that connection, right? You have that conversation. I guess that's what that kind of reminds me of. But I don't know if you guys have any comments on that, or I could also move on to the next chapter.
I have one comment.
Okay.
2 whole years, and I just now get an explanation of what your fantasy football team name is.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot about
League,
that.
because it's Sulla Felix. I've never understood that until this very moment. And it's funny because you say he pretends that he's lucky so that people don't get like mad at him. And that's all fantasy football is like having a plan, but just
But
at the end of the
just
day
getting lucky,
being lucky.
especially
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
playoffs,
yeah. Yeah.
But like,
Wow. Incredible
no,
incredible work,
it
Howie.
it was because well, it was also because I was super into Roman history at the time.
Mhm.
I was like learning a lot about, and I just like, and Solo was one of my favorite people because he came in, took over Rome once, left to go fight a war, and they like were coming back and like revolting, and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me walk away from this war real quick, clean stuff up, takes over Rome again, and then just dominates. And so I was just like, dude, I love this guy. Well, I want my fantasy team to be named after him. Um,
Mhm. Never won
yeah,
though.
I should
Hasn't
did.
won yet.
I should have won last year. Oh yeah, I think about how I drafted Caleb Johnson in the 5th round every time.
That's what keeps him awake at night.
I literally just want to draft like rookies because I had like 3 third round. Anyways, obviously I thought I was like guaranteed to win.
It's okay, bro. I drafted like Tony Pollard in the
You also drafted Terry McLaurin
dude.
the
Shut
third.
up with that, okay? Okay, enough fantasy
I
talk.
know.
We
What are we
promised we
doing
would
here?
never talk about it
I
ever
know. It's just
again.
so easy to get into. Okay. Well, on passing by. Oh, I remember this
Oh,
one.
let's see. What was passing by?
This one was actually kind of cool. I actually like this one. So basically, let me lay out the story here. Zarathustra. He's walking up to this great city. He's walking up to this massive city.
Mm.
And as he's
Mhm.
walking up to it, you have this fool who they call like, I forgot what they say it was. Like, it was like Zarathustra's fool or something. Like, he like spat out
Monkey?
yeah, Zarathustra's monkey. Like, spat out the ape of Zarathustra.
Yeah.
Because he had learned like how to like basically express like Zarathustra, like mimic him and just say all this stuff. And he's like, hey, watch out because people in here, they're idiots. You won't like them. It's nothing but mediocrity, cesspool, trash in here. He's like, you won't like going in. Don't go in here. And Zarathustra says, shut up, shut up right now. Because for Zarathustra, it's not about what it's not about hating on people for how they are. He's coming to realize that it's still about loving everyone, despite not agreeing with them. And so he says that, you know, this ape, this fool, has also dived just as low as these people because he just is hating on them. You know, he's been tainted in that sense. So Zarathustra ends up being like, I feel for the city. I'm sad for it. However, woe to this great city. And I would that I already saw the pillar of fire in which it will be consumed. For such pillars of fire must precede the great noontide, but this hath its time and its own fate. The precept, however, give I unto thee, imparting, thou fool. Where one can no longer love, there should one pass by. And so that's what he says. That's his big lesson, is that if you see something and just detest, rather than like trying to fight against it or spit bad omens on it, just move along. So I kind of mess with that. Kind of like that. It's like if you can't learn to love it, then don't hate it. Just let it do. Let it be a thing. But I'm
I
also
find that
curious.
difficult in today's day and
Mhm.
age because just using myself as an example, obviously have a lot of gripes with what is happening politically, and that is not something I personally would feel comfortable just passing by.
That's what I was about to ask you. It's like at the same time, like, revolution, right? Like if you want to change something and you think it's like even evil, right? It's really messed up. Can you just pass that by? You know? Or do you fight against
Maybe
it,
more
right?
for it.
But maybe we might be taking the lesson a little wrong, possibly.
Most things, right? Someone's really stinky. Okay, they smell really bad.
True.
Do you need to go over to them and be like, "Hey, dude, get some deodorant. Like, you smell so awful. Everybody around you is plugging their nose right now, dude. You need to shit." Or do you just say, "Hey, nice meeting you, man."
Is it more
Yeah, I think
awkward
it's like
to
that.
be the stinker or to tell someone that they're stinking? That's the question.
Does a stinker know that they stink?
No, they don't know they stink, and you're the one letting them know.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into this, man.
Dude, I actually have an example of this.
Oh, here we go. All right, Connor, let's hear
I
it.
feel like I know exactly who you're talking about.
No. This isn't anyone y'all know, but
Okay, I want to know
basically,
what David thought you were
yeah, I'm kind of
talking
curious what David's
Yeah, I
talking
want to hear David's story.
about.
It's your old roommate.
about. Oh,
That's
yes.
kind of what I was thinking a little bit too. I ain't gonna lie.
No, this was a recent event.
Uh-oh.
This happened last week when I was
Even
on that big
better.
project job. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to go any job titles, but there's this very important person that was on site.
Drops the
And
job number.
dude, he was a fucking like wealthy dude. He was like high up in what he was doing, right? Like dude walked on a construction site with a fucking $20,000 Rolex watch on his wrist.
Mhm.
Like incredible. He was there all week. I saw him wear the same pair of clothes all week.
Bro.
I don't know if he had 5 pairs of the same shirt and pants, but I don't know. Anyway, it's possible,
Maybe he's washing it every night.
Maybe. But I don't think so because, boy howdy, his stench just got worse as the week went on. And it was so hard to be around him, but I needed to be around him for my job. And it was like, oh my God, dude.
That one's even worse because it's like it's the high up guy.
It's the
Yeah.
high up guy.
Then you
He's
definitely
like
can't say
my
something,
boss. Yeah. I'm working with him next week too.
Or what if you
Dude.
do say something and he sees it as a power move? It's like, you know what? He's willing to take initiative and say the things that other people don't want to say. I like that.
Or he takes it as an
Or-
insult and he's like,
yeah,
oh,
he's like, this.
you
I
think it's
don't
bad?
smell bad.
What about now?
I don't smell bad. You smell bad.
You smell bad. Fuck
He's like,
you.
I don't want you here. Actually, go home.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Go.
Dude, imagine next book club. It's like everybody's doing their updates. Like, what happened? It's like, I told the guy he stank, and now I'm unemployed.
Yeah, we lost the contract. We lost 50% of our business. Our business is shutting down. It's not good.
That's so funny. But I think that's a good point. That's a good point. That
Yeah.
where like it depends. It's like the smaller stuff, which
Let it pass by.
yeah, just let it pass by. But like the things, there's like things you can't ignore. I think, and I think that really also just comes down to your values as a person. You know, and I guess in that case, like the really important stuff, right? You probably should not ignore.
Oh, wait. A little bit of a better idea. Don't be the fool just standing there and not taking action and just speaking.
Oh, like just hating.
I think that
Yeah.
is the bigger idea. The fool is literally, what is he doing? He's not doing shit.
Yeah.
He's just sitting in front of the city talking smack. Okay, well, why don't you try to share your teachings? All right. Or if not, okay, you can't share your teachings. All right. Well, then what are you still doing there? Or freaking, action. There's no action with this fool.
True.
Yeah, it's like, hey man,
Action with
why
this
don't you go say that to all the people in the city?
Yeah, man. It's pure performance.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good point.
Formative male.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Gotta take action. I mean, which is like such a big part of this, taking action. Well, then he has the next chapter, the apostates, which is basically just him like talking about how he like lost some of his followers. I think at the happy hours after he
Mhm.
left, and basically just coming to the conclusion, realizing that he has to let these people go, let his believers go, as it's just part of life. He does, I think, kind of does it in like a slightly harsh way, where he starts like calling them sickly, faint-hearted human species. Uh,
Species. Hit him with the species.
He
Dude.
hit him
Yeah.
with the species.
That's crazy.
yeah. So I mean, like he always has something to say, but like you have to look past that and real and like one of the the lesson to take away, I think, is to sometimes there's people you won't agree with, people who you were friends with who like maybe their values change or whatever, outlook on life change, and just like people in general, you know, will have to just get out of you. You'll have to like kick out of your life or leave out of your life. And you have to recognize that it's okay, if not for the better, you know? Like, you know, let's say David is out there hanging out with people who are drinking like all the time, you know? And for
Bad crowd, man. What can I do?
his better health, like let's say they're like best friends, for like a while. But again, they start going down this dark
Connor,
path of
you
like
gotta
drinking all
stop
the
drinking so
time.
much.
Is this an intervention?
In that case, things change and you kind of maybe just have to let them, I guess it says right here, let them go and fall away and do not lament, which I think is a hard
I
lesson
got
for
some
people to
bad
do.
news, man.
Connor, I'm sorry.
No, I think Zarathustra's followers called him stinky and he got really pissed off.
Hey, he spent too
But
much time
yeah,
in the mountains, man.
Yeah.
it's too much time with animals,
Stinking it up.
Dude, I know you just went through your whole isolation arc, but seriously, did that mean no bathing as well?
Yeah,
Like,
like there's water up there.
I know there's a mountain spring. We
Yeah,
all drink from it. Like,
it's probably more fresh than what we got down here, bro.
yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Put some pine needles on that thing. Like, come on.
You are the
Uh,
lowest of the human species.
that's so,
People.
that's so funny. Um, Next chapter, the return home. Uh,
The
all
return.
all I
What
really
is this?
see here is that um, no one really listens, and that he's starting to get to the point now that he's realizing that no one's really ready for his words, and some people even hate him. So he had to like hide himself. He had to like kind of turn into something he was not like hide who he truly was, right? And start getting a little polluted, so quote unquote. Um, and so he's just kind of starting to realize that, maybe it's pointless. Like at the very beginning, in the old man in the woods, starting to realize that maybe it's pointless for him to really try to teach and preach his words, which is kind of interesting because there's things that you would want to change, right, in people that you would want to help, but like it goes to this idea of like human change, right? Like, is it truly possible to change someone like that? To change people? Zarathustra's starting to think it's not. Do you guys think? Do you
feel
think
like
guys think people can change for the better just from some
I feel
words?
like I feel like
If they want, man.
there's like this would be in like the Boog Club like FAQ section, our stance on like whether or not people can change. Uh, uh, I feel like
Connor's answer, David's answer, Seth's answer.
yeah, like I think because like I mean that's the core. That's like the core tenet of like any philosophy book. It's like okay, you wrote this whole book. What's that gonna do? Like are people really gonna read it and live differently now? Like, do you actually think that's gonna happen? And I think it can, 100%. It's got to come
Mm.
from within.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the big caveat is that it
Like,
it has to come from within.
yeah, people can change, but you cannot make them. You can present them with information that might make it easier or harder for them to change. But you cannot. They have to do it. At the end of the day.
yeah. That's the thing. Like the
Also,
person himself has to want to do it.
mhm. I feel like your smell theory is starting to grow some legs, Connor. At the very end, he says, with blessed nostrils do I again breathe mountain freedom. Freed at last is my nose from the smell of all human hubbub. With sharp breezes tickled, as with sparkling wine, sneezeth my soul, sneezeth and shouteth, self congratulatingly, health to thee, thus spake Zarathustra.
Finally, doesn't stink.
Said
Finally,
sneezeth.
So basically, you should tell your boss off and not get near him next week.
yeah. That's the lesson to learn here, Connor. We have the last chapter, the three evil. I'm surprised. I low-key thought at the beginning we're on the first chapter for like so long. I did not think we were gonna finish, but the three evil
Started cruising.
things.
Oh, the internet's going out just the wrong time.
No, it's fine. We're gonna
I
wrap
guess,
up. We're almost
yeah, it
there.
is at the wrap up. It is at the
You
wrap
got
up.
this. You got this.
You're here. You're here, Howie.
Okay.
You're
Keep on
blinking.
cooking.
We
Keep on
can see you
cooking.
All right.
blink.
All right. All right. All right. We're going. We're rolling.
All right, the
We do
three
it
evil
live.
things.
The three evil things: voluptuousness, passion for power, and selfishness.
Voluptuousness is evil.
Like, so he said, well, no. Actually, Seth, he says these are the three best cursed things in the world. So he's calling these
But
things which people consider evil and bad as outstanding.
oh, okay. Okay, so he
Yeah.
likes them. He
Hmm.
likes them thick.
I think that's exactly what he's saying.
He likes them with some depth.
I think from what I remember him saying about voluptuousness, I wrote down that it keeps those tied to and enjoying the earth, but to others it is a poison. So I think for him, it's like voluptuousness is something that keeps like voluptuousness to free hearts that think innocent and free, the garden happiness of the earth. All the future's thinks overflow to the present. So I don't know how that really relates to like being grounded to the earth, but that's what he's saying it does. And to other people, it's a poison. So that's why he likes voluptuousness. The two things I thought were more interesting was passion for power and selfishness. Um,
Our minds are clearly in two different worlds with what we took note of in this chapter. I
what'd you
couldn't get
take note
over
of?
the idea that like the great evil of voluptuousness, like it like totally ruined my ability to pay attention to anything else he was saying.
Did you write something about it? I'm curious.
No, I was just like I didn't have like he explained it pretty well, but like I don't know. It's just a fun, I guess a fun word.
You had dirty thoughts attached to that word, Seth.
Yeah, Seth, I think you're the problem.
I think I am. Like I think I'm being exposed right now.
Guys, the boss I was talking about. That.
I knew
Wow.
it.
What the
I
heck? You can
knew
Dude,
smell
it.
me from so
I
far away.
I didn't see it coming personally.
I
None of
knew
us
it.
did.
I okay, I didn't know he was your boss, but I thought Seth was looking a little stinky. Uh,
Oh, all right.
okay, passion for power. Okay, I'm gonna kind of read this kind of fast because I wrote down need to talk about the passion of power section. Did not fully get it. So maybe if I read
Mm,
this, y'all will fully get it.
All
Um,
okay.
right, all right. Read along.
Time for the read along portion of the podcast. All right, passion for power, the glowing scourge of the hardest of the heart hard, the cruel torture reserved for the cruelest themselves, the gloomy flame of living pyres. Passion for power, the wicked gadfly which is mounted on the vainest people, the scorner of all uncertain virtue, which rideth on every horse and on every pride. Passion for power, the earthquake which breaketh and upbreaketh all that is rotten and hollow, the rolling, rumbling, punitive demolisher of whited sepulchres, the flashing interrogative sign beside premature answers. Passion for power, before whose glance man creepeth and croucheth and drudgeth, to become lower than a serpent and the swine, until at last a great contempt crieth out to him. Passion for power, the terrible teacher of great contempt, which preacheth to their face to cities and empires. Away with thee, until a voice crieth out of themselves, away with me. Passion for power, which however mounteth alluringly even to the pure and lonesome, and up to the self-satisfied elevations, glowing like a love that painteth purple felicities alluringly on earthly heavens. Passion for power. But who would call it passion when a height longeth to stoop for power? Verily nothing sick or disease is there in such longing and descending.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like in all of these, it's kind of like saying like there's something bad. There's like a bad way. Like there's a thing why this is bad. And in other ways, there's
Mhm.
a reason why this is good. Like passion for power. There's like for weak or whatever, it's bad. For the strong, whatever, it's good. Um, Especially in the good part where I think he says, "But who would call it passion when the
Yeah.
height longeth to stoop for power? Verily nothing sick or disease in there in such longing and descending."
It's like he kind of talks about how it's something that makes everybody like, you know, he says, before whose glance man creepeth and croucheth and drudgeth, all and become lower than the serpent and the swine. Like, that people will go to low levels to achieve power, right? Is typically
Hmm.
like, I can't believe you would stoop that low, right? But
Yeah.
he's kind of established in that first chapter we read about how you have to, like, he's established over the course of this whole book the idea of the what's it called, like the going below,
The down going and up going.
the down going and up going. Yes.
That's what it was.
So like that's kind of one of his core ideas. So it's like you say, you know, I can't believe you'd stoop low for that power. And then he's like, but wait, of course you would stoop low for that power. How else would you become the Uberman? You must do the down going before you can, you know, reach your full potential, right? I still don't think I
I
am cool
so
with the idea of passion for power, though. But I get the idea. I get the idea he's maybe trying to express.
I think also part of it is like I don't think he really wants someone to be like controlled by a passion of power, but rather they control the passion for power.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're aware of it within themselves, and so they try to achieve it, but not to the point where like it destroys them. Another way I kind of look at it.
Yeah, that's kind of like the same thing he's talking about with the voluptuousness, right? It's like,
Yeah.
don't let
For
it
some,
destroy you.
bad for others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The part that I actually think I liked the most was like the selfishness one. Because it's definitely an idea I've had before where, people talk about like, oh, be selfless. It's good to be selfless. Don't be selfish, right? I think it's like something like people grew up learning about too. But I think it's actually important to be selfish to a certain extent. Like I don't know how to explain this. This is the main issue with me whenever I try to explain this idea, because it never sounds great. Um, it's like in some cases you just have to put yourself first. You know, you have to really understand that the only person at the end of the day, the person who will look out for you is yourself. In all cases. And so when it comes to something that's like really important for yourself, you almost have to put that above everything else and everyone else. Um, because you have to be selfish. Because you can't, well, one thing is you can't give all of yourself to like other people, or else there'll be none of you left. And then at that point, you're just drained. You're wasted away. So it's important, I think, to really put yourself ahead of others when it comes to specific things, virtues, values, and all that stuff. Like no matter what. Obviously, don't be a jerk, you know. Don't just like, no, I'm gonna there's two cookies left. Yeah, I'm taking both of them. Oh, you wanted one? Sorry. Don't be like
You should
that.
have looked out for yourself.
Yeah.
You wanted a cookie.
Sorry, babe. Need to hit my macros.
But it's I guess like the
This is
important
for the
stuff,
good of us.
Yeah, I'm actually looking out for you. You don't need that cookie anyways.
Whoa.
Crazy.
I guess Howie was overdue for one too.
There was like so many layers to that one that
God. Yeah, I think Nietzsche's really rubbing off, guys.
I
But I
guess
get what you're saying,
I'm saying the
Howie.
important
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
just messing.
Yeah, because like, I don't know. The way I've always heard it explained is like you can only give from the part of your cup that overflows. You have to fill your cup first.
Yeah. It's important to
You
take care of yourself.
Yeah. And not even just for yourself, actually, so that you can effectively give to the people around you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which I think kind of, that I feel like that goes back to how I did the closing hand motion and I kept talking.
No, keep talking. 'Cause
No,
I think I
you're
know
good.
exactly Because
Keep
you
on going.
where
I
you're gonna take
just
it, I think, is where my thought process is right now.
Oh, I
pause for
don't
a
know.
second. Sorry, it's just
I was gonna talk about I was gonna go back to what we were talking about like relationships and yourself
Mm-hmm.
and what Connor talked about with the setting your partner up to have like a comfortable life. That's like the epitome of this idea, is like looking out for what's going on here so that he has enough to give to that person so that they can like, you know, get the best, right? So I think, I don't know. Does that make sense?
yo.
I feel like that kind of aligns.
No, it does make sense. David, if you want to continue off that, please, because I just had a whole thought that I want to
Share
hit
it.
you guys
Nah,
with.
share it, man.
Uh-oh.
Okay. What if your partner's perfect life is not the one you think it is, but it's actually the life where they spend time with you rather than
Uh-oh.
you working all the time?
See,
Uh-oh.
that goes back to what Seth said. It depends on the partner. Depends
Uh-oh.
on the
My partner
people.
wants to spend time with me. This is bullshit.
I worked so hard to give them a Gucci bag. Now they want to spend time with me.
Oh, so you want the Gucci bag? Oh, you want the cake and you want to eat it too? Okay.
Yeah. You want the
Yeah, we're
Gucci bag
so.
and to spend time with me?
Well, guess what, babe? It's one or the other. All right. We are so
Oh,
red
man.
God.
Yeah.
I've lived long enough to see myself become what I least wanted. I'm only 24.
Too old.
Yeah, so Connor, what you were saying earlier about working all the time, give your partner a perfect life, messed up, man. That's messed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah,
Fucked
you
up,
should
Connor.
feel bad about that.
Yeah, you didn't
No,
even ask
no,
him. Did you even ask? Did
I'm
you
a piece
even
of shit.
ask?
I mean,
This
obviously,
is so mean.
I'm the only single one here, so maybe that's the reason for it.
No.
I was gonna make another joke, but now, now I
No,
can't.
yeah.
Oh no, I killed
I'm
the
gonna
vibe. I'm
lay off a
sorry.
little bit.
No, make the joke. Make the joke.
I was just gonna say, Connor, I think you're just using, giving your partner a perfect life as an excuse to just work.
Fuck, you might be right.
Maybe just guys, he's not
Connor.
single. He's married to the game.
True. Maybe your wife is just work.
Oh,
Connor,
don't
you're
say
more
That's
than a
that.
such a
provider, Connor.
depressing life.
You're more than a provider, Connor.
Connor, we
So
love
I
you.
care about you
if
as
you
a
really want to
person, not the work
provide,
you do.
if you really want to provide some of your time.
Fuck. Fuck. Fuck, David. What are you doing after this?
Actually, I'm kind of busy. I gotta go work out, so
Alright, I'm
I'm gonna be a little selfish
Wow.
tonight.
Dang.
Wow.
He's got to focus on
He's kind
himself.
of.
I just poured my entire cup out to you, and you just spat on
I poured it back out.
Connor's never going vulnerable again for another 5 years.
it. Nope. I'm
know.
closed off. I'm
So we'll
going to
see you on
alone for the
Saturday.
next
Or...
5 years.
Okay.
Oh
A
man.
perfect way to
Well,
end off this session.
that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
5 minute long roast.
Fun at the expense of Connor.
We love you, Connor.
We do love you,
We
Deeply.
Connor.
love you, Connor.
I love you
Deeply.
guys.
Shoot. Okay, wait. I want to throw this one out. We're the three with the girlfriend, but who's the closest to getting a house right
True.
I thought it was gonna be. I really thought it was gonna be another like this. You're like,
Well,
wait,
it
hold on.
was.
I had one more. I had one more before we.
I need to get this last one out.
Yeah, one last swing.
It was gonna be a haymaker. Nah.
It's gonna be the et tu brute moment.
All right. Well, time to finish off the third part. And then we only have one more part left, boys, before we
Dude,
get into a book.
I am actually really excited for a new book.
I
I
know,
thirst
same.
for the wheel.
Same.
I hunger deeply
I,
for the wheel.
I want our viewership to go up by 1.
Yeah, we need that to go up.
And
Oh,
we know we
I forgot to mention this. I had an announcement. Like, I'll say it now. I'll probably say it at the start of next one. All of our episodes on Spotify are now videos.
Booyah!
It
Well,
was,
then
I
I guess
can
we can start
watch
watching
them.
videos. Yeah.
yeah. It was actually it was low key a little bit rough because some episodes, Spotify apparently is pretty strict about uploading the videos. And so the software I was using, I guess, like the way my process, at least at first, wasn't perfect. And so I had to like recut some of the videos.
No way.
Yeah, there's like two videos specifically where I literally watched the entire video again. And, like I literally synced it up. Like I played the content, like the raw content, on my laptop and played the video on YouTube on my phone.
Oh, and
Like literally synced it up so I could find the cut points. Um, so I did
Whoa.
a couple of times, and then there's some times where like I just had to, like I already had the cuts still saved. I could just redo it, but like all I have to say, videos are now on Spotify. So
Wow, this is what happens when we don't give Howie an episode for a couple weeks. He's got to make new ones.
I gotta use that percentage for something, you know. I gotta make sure it's worth
gotta
something.
work with the
Um,
material he has.
Well, I
but
appreciate your
yeah,
effort, Howie. It means a lot.
so
Yes. Now I can enjoy
hopefully
video.
hopefully we'll get all some more viewership, you know. And that studio
I
coming soon.
literally only consume the podcast through YouTube or through Spotify. So having a video on Spotify, big ups
Yeah, so I'll be hyped.
personally.
I have a whole process now too, so it's a lot easier now. But
Now all the
Incredible.
my listeners know what we look like too.
I know
Yeah,
you'll be able to see what we look like. Clips are next.
they can see all the times that I flash my license plate
Ooh.
address on the screen.
Yeah, I'll get that soon,
Have
guys.
fun.
Don't worry.
Go find those.
That was
Patreon
actually
only.
the
Patreon
biggest
only.
complaint on our Reddit thread was that the Spotify viewers did not know what your car looked like or where you lived.
That
Yeah,
was a big on our Reddit, on the Boog Club Reddit.
yeah. But now
Mods
that
were just blaming them.
now you have those
Yeah.
blinds open, Seth, they're gonna like track exactly outside and like
I
know
Dude,
exactly
bet-
where you
your
live.
listeners are already on you. I know.
I
Dude,
bet
geolocation, you're done.
I bet
Yeah.
someone could figure out where I live from this video.
That
I would not be
geo
surprised at all.
that
I think it'd
GeoGuessr
actually be
guy,
very easy.
Yeah. No,
he'll
you can
find
do it.
you.
Find you.
Yeah, a rainbow. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got me dead rights.
Yeah.
I 100%. You 100% could figure out where I live. I don't even think
Dude,
it'd
just
be
by
that
the
hard.
hue of the camera lighting,
For
he'll
real.
know.
Oh, 100%.
5 seconds, just like, oh yeah, this is Nashville.
Oh, well, Seth is doxxed.
Yep.
It's over.
GG, Seth.
That's
I'm glad I didn't have to do
right
anything this time. All right. Well, we'll finish the third part and go on to the next one.
All right,
Tuesday.
sounds
Till
good.
next week.
I'll be on vacation.
Oh yes,
Bro.
so next week.
You're fired.
Can't wait. Can't
Uh,
wait. Can't wait.
Wait, our first fire? Are we gonna get a new
No,
co-host?
no. There's no first fire. I'm not getting fired.
He's not
This is
getting
not
fired.
happening.
It was a
It's not
joke.
happening.
It was a joke.
Okay. I didn't know you
I
could
earned
refuse
this PTO.
firings.
Okay,
I didn't know you could refuse firings. Dude,
I just did.
Well, it was a joke. He didn't really have the choice. I'd like to give the illusion of choice. You know.
new corporate America strat right there.
Yep.
Hopefully by next book club, we'll be going to the quarterfinals, baby.
Hopefully, that'd be sick.
I ain't gonna lie to you, and this is I don't mean to be that guy. We're not making it.
All right, you're fired.
And
But like actually, oh, like you're actually fired.
No.
You're out of
No.
here. You're out of here.
It's too late. You
Red
can't
card,
fire
bro.
me.
You got
Only
red
works one
carded, bro.
It only works.
One use per session.
Yeah.
True. That's fair. I'll give you that. All right.
All right, boys.
Well, I guess
Good night.
not next week, but like week after.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Tuesday. Be there.
All right.
We'll be square. You don't want to be square. I promise you.
All right.
It's unpleasant.
David, vintage story.
Ooh, see if Matt's down. I'd be down 100 for an
Oh, you're
hour.
going to the gym.
True. If
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah. What happened to the
I'll play
gym?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be extra selfish and play Vintage Story.
Dude, he's gonna go to the mind gym, okay?
The mind.
He's
gym.
going
There's-
to increase
there's
that mind power of
plenty-
vintage story.
Plenty of clay pots to carry up and down.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Fantastic.
All right, well, have fun.
Yeah,
I'll see
you
you
guys have
Alright.
fun.
guys in a couple weeks.
Deuces.
See
Later.
y'all.
Bye.
Peace. Thank you for listening to today's book club. If you want to support us, please feel free to leave a rating and review on wherever you get your podcasts. We are on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, so either one of those would be great help. Also, leave a follow. That'd be amazing too. If you're listening or watching on YouTube, please leave some comments, like the video, subscribe. Another way you can help support us is we are Amazon affiliates, which means you'll see in the description wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast on the episode, there will be a link to the book that we are currently covering, or if we spin the wheel to select our next book, you'll also see a link to the next book that we will be covering as well. And these links are to the books that the exact same books that we are reading during the podcast. So, if you're going to read the book anyways, it'd be a great help if you could use the link. It's going to be no additional cost to you, and we do get a small uh, percentage of the proceeds. So you get a book, and we also get a benefit. It's a win-win, honestly. And even if you don't get, like, even if you don't use the link, I still recommend getting the book. One, because it helps to read what we're reading, so you can kind of have some more context into what we are discussing, as well as having your own book. We're not covering everything in the book on the podcast. That's impossible to do in an hour and a half, and so it allows you to get some really nice information in there that again we just can't cover. And it also allows you to annotate your own book. So, if years down the line, you can kind of come back to the book, kind of remind yourself on the lessons you learned. And, if you reread it again, you can have almost like a conversation with yourself back in time too. It's really an investment to, I think, read and buy books. So again, thank you for listening to Book Club and can't wait to catch you in the next one.